Good morning. It is an overcast day today, and the weather is much better than it has been in the last weeks. It's the end of May. We should be up in the 70s and the average, and we're not there. I think the high today is supposed to be 63, and this weekend we'll be lucky to get into the 60s. So there's that. But I am here out in my garden, and it is almost all planted. My husband planted a lot of it during the Memorial Day weekend. I did do green beans yesterday. So what I found out with that is I normally make my rows with a hoe, but the hoe is in the barn, and quite frankly, I can't move around in the barn. Barns are never big enough, if you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do today is I have my trusty cane. I called my trusty cane Tiny Tim. So Tiny Tim and I are going to plant the last two garden beds. And what we're going to do is we have some peas. These were left over from last year. I got some extra ones of seed saved. I bought some Swiss chard. I know that's backwards, so I have some Swiss chard that I'm going to plant. Whether we're going to eat, I think I'll be the one that eats this a lot because I usually have green smoothies in the morning, and I'll be using that for this. It will also come into frittatas. Shh, don't tell my family. And the last thing is these are seed saved. These are wax beans, actually technically Cherokee wax. And these grow like, for me, have grown like gangbusters. And I find I really don't need to plant a whole 4x8 bed full of these things like I do with the green beans. The green beans, I actually have two 4x8 beds. One row in each 4x8 bed. So actually 2 rows will actually suffice for us. When I was growing up, I thought wax beans taste the same as green beans. They don't. And I find that if you have chicken, and that it tends to be a very bland looking plate, at least green beans give you some kind of color. But I'm going to plant them anyways because they are really nice when you pickle beans. Some people do dilly pickle beans. I have like more of a sweet pickle bean. If you put these in with your wax beans, the color does make the jar look a lot better. So I'm going to take you along for what I do, and you will be able to see that even though my balance isn't what it should be, I'm on the ground. I'm in my bare feet because I walk better in my bare feet actually. And so anyways, you will see what happens in the garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the end of the cane, I'm going to make 3 rows in each bed. I'm not going to make you watch all of them. So just go through and make 3 rows. Okay, I have got the rows made in the beds, and so what I'm going to do is in each bed I'm going to make 1 row of green beans, of wax beans, 1 row of the Swiss chard, and 1 row of the peas. So I find walking with the cane to do this tends to be a little bit more cumbersome. I use the beds actually to balance on. And you'll kind of see how that works. So let's start with the wax beans. Okay, so in that bed, that row is all done. As you see, it really didn't take a whole long time to do that. So in the middle row is going to be the Swiss chard, and I will admit that reaching into the middle is more of a challenge than I would like, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? So here goes the Swiss chard. Okay, 2 rows done. I have another row. The third row will be peas. Pretty much the same process, and then I will do the same thing to the other raised bed. With the peas, I'm putting them on the end because we have some cattle panels, and this year we're going to loop it up from one bed to the other with the intent that the peas will grow up and actually go overhead, and it'll be a little bit easier to pick rather than trying to like get through the plants like normal. They tend to move around, really get out of control. So I'll let you know how the cattle panels does. Had to say this isn't easy. There's a lot of reaching, a lot of walking on uneven surface. There's a lot of balance that, of course, I'm kind of deficient in. It's not easy. And in saying that, you got to do what you got to do. And as I used to tell my old friend Wolfgang, God bless his soul, he had Parkinson's, and he just recently passed away. And he saw me once, and he said, "Stephanie, just sit down, take a break," because I was, working outside and hobbling around quite a bit. And I'm like, "Wolfgang, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving, because as soon as you stop moving, you stop moving." So with that, I'm going to finish the rest of these garden beds, and thank God they're done. They're done. I mean, everything is like 2 weeks behind. They're finally done. That's one thing off my plate. So I'm going to finish the rest of these garden beds, and then I will see you next time. Remember, if you like my content, please hit the like button and subscribe, and share to anybody else that might have not only MS but other kinds of mobility issues so they can see that they're not alone in trying to just keep moving and doing what you need to do. All right, until next time, Linda's out.